guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the 19th of June, Saturday, 2021, and this is the Flight Sim News. So, in other Eagle Dynamics DCS World News, on Friday, they decided to have a summer sale. So the summer sale 2021 is going right now, and most stuff, as usual, is 50% off. And then they say that's going to run until the 12th of July. And then they mention a bunch of other modules are only 30% off, like the Hornet, the A10C2 tank killer, DCS super carrier, etc. If we jump over to their page here, you'll see the HIND you can get for $55.99, which isn't too bad. I want to say that's not 30% off, but maybe it is. A10C tank killer 2 is $55.99. The Thunderbolt is $34.99. Super Carrier is $34.99. Deca Ironworks JF17, $63. I don't understand why these guys never want to participate in the sale. I don't know. It just blows my mind because every time it's ever been on sale, it's only been like 10% or something. So number one reason why I'll never buy this, these guys are greedy apparently because they just do not want to participate. The Viper's $55, and then most of the other stuff is down to 50% off, which makes sense. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, so you can check it out for yourself. In other DCS news, they go on to say Uyghur Media has moved DCS Syria to its final release state. Included in this final release are the addition of Cyprus and a large portion of southern Turkey. Major cities such as Nicosia, Larnaca, Limassol, Paphos, I'm going to butcher these. I have no idea how to pronounce these. I'm going to let you read it if you want to. Have been modeled in high detail. Get a combined arms vehicle and take a drive or explore in the HIND. And I've done just that. I don't know where all these are on the map, but I did just get done poking around in the HIND, kind of along the bottom coastline of Cyprus to get a feel for what they have going on there. And there is some pretty cool stuff. I haven't seen it all yet, but I'm definitely going to take a look at it a little bit more in depth as I can. But for right now, I had fun kind of cruising along the coastline there in the Cyprus region. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. In another DCS news, they talk about the HIND a little bit. They say the HIND pricing policy. The HIND is now available in early access and is also in free-to-play for you to enjoy for 14 days. Test fly before you buy, and don't forget to take advantage of the early access 20% discount on the DCS Mi-24P HIND. And that's what I snagged it for yesterday, I believe. Or was it the day before? It was probably the day before. It's been a few days. But it was 30%, I want to say, before they released it. So my bad, I missed out on 10%. But now's a good time to get it. It's probably not going to be discounted like that for a long time once they take it and drop that discount they have at the moment. So, like most of the newer DCS modules, they almost never hit that 50% point until they're done, complete, and have been out for a couple years. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. All right, Baltic Dragon has dropped a post. He goes on to say, so as we are in the final stage of building the A10C Iron Flag campaign, we'd like to share a few thoughts about it. This is not going to be a set of sterile training missions with lots of one-sided blah blah from the instructor. The player as a National Guard pilot is going to be trained on how to effectively fly and fight with the A10C, its onboard system, and its weapons. But that will be done in a realistic way with true characters, chatter, other flights, ATIS comms with agencies like clearance, delivery, departure tower, approach, etc., as well as using real-life departure and recovery routes at Nellis. There will be plenty of back and forth with players' characters, including jokes. There will be questions testing if you paid attention, using F10 menu to choose one of 4 answers. On the other hand, there's no rushing. The instructions are displayed long enough, and often there will be an option to ask the instructor to repeat his or her last transmission. And most importantly, we not only wanted to show you how to do things with the A10C2, but also why a certain tactic or procedure would be good to use in this or that scenario. Can't wait to get the first part in your hands. More info to follow soon. That sounds pretty freaking cool. They just keep getting a little bit more realistic and more realistic and more realistic as these guys like Baltic Dragon and Greg over at Reflected Simulations keep, honing their skills, putting out these really in-depth and historically realistic and, technically realistic campaigns that they do. I will definitely throw a link to this in the video description as usual, so you can check it out for yourself. Here's another one that was just posted. Red Star Simulations popped up a few screenies of their MiG-17. They go on to say there's no better way to start into the weekend with some screenshots with our MiG-17 for DCS World. For aerobatic pilots, we will include several real-world liveries of the MiG-17s that are flown on air shows. Here you can see the plane and one of our subject matter experts whose help we greatly appreciate. Stay tuned for the next development update next week. Wow, these guys just had a development update like a week ago. This is kind of cool. These guys are really pumping the info out there and being like completely transparent. Let's take a look at these images. So that's pretty cool. That looks pretty slick. Very nice indeed. I will throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. Last up is something I thought was really freaking cool. I'm going to try to play this, and I'm not certain if the music is copyrighted or not. If it is, you may just see this edited out later where I have to remove the audio and you'll still see the video playing. But this is really neat. It really reminds me of the old 90s flight sims, the real just plain Jane, SVGA 1024 by 768 polygon, like the old Falcon 4.0. This also reminds me of the old flight sim toolkit that I think came out from Spectrum Holobyte, but it looks a lot more involved than that even. Let's take a look. So not only is the music pretty freaking cool, I'm hoping I won't have to edit that out. If I do, it will have to be the little YouTube thing that edits it out for me, so I don't have to repost the entire news only to find out that, I had to edit it. Anyway, if you've watched that, you'll see that really looks like the old flight sims. And it's being done by Microprose. Well, they're producing it, I believe. So it's called Tiny Combat Arena. And I think it's going to be fun. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's very simplistic in terms of visuals, but man, that would also make it really perform extremely well on pretty much any hardware too by looking at it. So, and I'm just going to throw that out there and say I think this is going to be one of those cool little, things to watch for, because it looks to me like that kind of thing that you want to do when you want to do some War Thunder maybe, but you don't want to do War Thunder because you don't want people knowing you play War Thunder. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and definitely check it out for yourself. So I'm going to get back to the HIND. I'm telling you what, guys, this has really been a lot of fun recently. This is the most fun I've had in DCS World in months. I'm talking probably 6 months or more, man. I just haven't had the, the inspiration to do much in flight sims recently. And wow, I'm having, just a great time flying that HIND around. I just have to learn it, the other systems and whatnot yet, but I think I got a pretty good handle on flying it, except for a little wreck that happened the other day at the end of one of my videos that I couldn't explain. I was just kind of cruising along, everything was cool, and all of a sudden it went haywire. So I guess I have a lot more to learn, but it's not stopping me from having fun, and at the end of the day, that's what counts most, right, guys? We all do this and pay our money to do this to have fun at the end of the day, and that's what it's all about. So, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button, and until next time, guys.